It's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Piofiore. And today, we are going to go down... There it is. I was like, we're going to go down Henry's romance ending. You know, because he died in our best ending ever. Look. I still love our man harem ending, okay? We still got everybody was happy, and like, it was the closest thing to a goddamn man harem that I am ever gonna get. Shut up, let me have it. And, I mean, again, in my little fantasy world, you know, we got Henry some fucking therapy, and he's good. It's okay. And, you know, everyone lived happily ever after. Literally, only Henry died in the fucking ending. Maybe he didn't die. Maybe he escaped. We didn't see a body. You know, if I throw that out there in Gilbert's route that, I didn't see Nicola's body, you can't tell me he's dead, bitch, shut up. Then I feel like we can say that, no, Direttore survived. And he's getting the help he needs. He's in an inpatient facility, just dealing with his shit. And then he'll be fine. And then we'll just embrace him and take care of him. And it's okay. So anyway... but we're going to get his romance ending. So we got to go to chapter 8. High affinity. I like how... And high cooperation. I feel like... Did we not have high affinity and high cooperation when we did this? But like, okay. We'll see. Is that what the chapter... Is the same chapter? Huh. All right, well, we'll just see if we can skip anything. Oh, I guess we can. Well, just a little bit anyway. Oh, okay, so we didn't really need to skip any of that. So a few days after the meeting at the church, it was dark outside. I couldn't seem to get myself to sleep at the casino tomorrow. I felt uneasy. Okay, you know what? Let's just go back. Hold on. Let's just rewind this shit. Please don't skip my red stuff. Okay, cool. I'll just read it because it's like 4 lines, so. A few days after the meeting at the church... It was dark outside, but I couldn't seem to get myself to sleep. The casino. Tomorrow. I felt an uneasy restlessness after hearing when they were planning to take action. I tried to think about other things, but it kept returning to my mind. Everyone, please be safe. I knelt on the floor and quietly offered my prayers until the morning sun rose. Okay, that was basically the only thing it skipped. Sunlight came in through the window. Sensing something, I went to look outside. Henry? Hi. Henry! I hesitated only for a brief moment, and this is where we're going to find out. I quickly put on my gown and hurriedly ran out of my room, if we know that he's Direttore or not, because like that's the weirdest thing that kind of was just left questionable at the end of the finale route, which is the only complaint I have. You don't make it clear, does she know that Henry is Direttore, and why did she just, or if she didn't, why did she just forget about Henry? You know, anyway. I made my way out to the garden where I was greeted with a stare. Henry, I thought you wouldn't come anymore. I thought he told me what he said back then with the intent of never coming back. Okay, this makes more sense then. Okay. Oh, I thought I'd never see him again. Well, then that makes sense in the finale route. But I feel like, maybe it's just me. Did I miss that? Did I miss where they made anything where she was like, oh, I'm never going to see him again? Which would then make sense why... But I just feel like it could have been done a little bit better. Again, when she was thinking about him, man, I really, I don't want him to suffer anymore. I really wish she had made a comment like what he said to me back in the garden. You know, I'll probably never see him again, but I hope he fucking does well or whatever. Just a little, like a line or two where you would be like, okay, she doesn't know that Henry and Direttore are the same person. And that explains why later when she never mentions Henry again, it's just, she just assumes he peaced out and was never coming back. Because like, I didn't get that. Especially because, I mean, even though she's like, oh, just in case I never see you again. She said that at one point, and then she saw him 3 more times after that. Maybe at least once. But you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I guess I should have just assumed every time we saw him, she was assuming she was never going to see him again. But, girl, tell me that, because this bitch in the back of your brain is like, the bitch in the back seat is like, hello. Didn't get that. So anyway. Okay, so now this explains it, and that makes more sense, and I feel better now. But if you just did the finale ending, you're like, I don't, which way is up? Are we heads or tails here? We're tails. No, heads? Well, I don't know. Look, I don't know which one it is, but we're whatever, okay? She didn't know that Henry was direttore, and she just assumed she was never going to see him again. Makes sense. Now. He calmly began to speak. Sorry. I'm having fun with you. I gotta get my Henry voice on. A certain brother and sister lived in this town. And they were born in France, but the sister was a very important person to a certain Italian family. We know this story. Huh, deja vu. You ever get that freaky deja vu feeling? Neither she nor her family knew of her importance. His words confirmed what was on my mind. Wait. Does she have a suspicion? Because, again, that was never made clear. An opposing syndicate saw an opportunity. And the brother and sister's parents were murdered so that the sister could be held for ransom. Okay, so it's not the Falzone's fault. It's someone else's fault. But again, indirectly the Falzone because they were trying to get at them. So okay. All right, I feel you there. Okay. They planned to kill them both later, but the Mafia came and saved their lives. The siblings were taken from France and brought here to the Mafia's manor. You really are... Seeing me say nothing, Henry continued his story. Okay. So she, at some point, right now, you really are talking about other people? Or she's getting them like, wow, you really are writing. Okay, but when the fuck did you get clued in? I mean, look, we've known from, like, the fucking... I've known from the second we started this fucker, okay? It's just because Henry is in there with the bestie ending, right? And then direttore is on the cover, and it's not that hard to make the fucking leap. Okay, look, sometimes I spoil shit for us. Anyway, and other times we don't see shit coming. But when did she get clued in? When did she have a feeling? You know what I mean? I feel like if she had an inkling... So this is the bad writing. I love this game, but this is kind of where I'm like, she never indicated she had an inkling. Instead of being like, I'm really wondering. So again, that brings back the finale ending when she's like, oh, he's suffering so much. Does she know he's direttore? Apparently we're supposed to assume she does. But when the fuck was that ever like a thing? Again, Nicola could have made the comment and she could have put the pieces together, or she could have been sitting there saying, you know, it's really strange that I see Henry around and I'm just starting to wonder, I get this weird feeling, I can't be right about it, but like if she said anything ever to give us indication that she might have a feeling or a weird suspicion that they're the same person, that would make more sense, but she has never fucking let on at all until now. It's like, yeah, I would thought so. What? When? The fuck? No! That makes no sense! You have to tell us these things, dear writers. You have to give us an indication, and like, you dropped the ball, is all I'm saying. Like, they just dropped the ball on it, and it just kind of bugs me a little, like, you know, I don't like having to make assumptions, okay? Because it makes an ass of you, me, and everybody involved who couldn't be bothered to actually, like, write this shit in there, is all I'm saying. But, anyway. Seeing me say nothing, Henry continued his story. According to lore, the sister and the Mafia boss were bound by fate. But lore is simply that. The boss didn't want to shackle her to such a fate. But she saw it differently. The sister believed from the bottom of her heart that she was destined to be with him. Even after the boss fell in love with another woman, the sister was convinced it must be her, and soon went mad. See, even he knows that his sister is motherfucking insane. But he just blames the circumstances on the Mafia. And I mean, he's, I guess, not really wrong, indirectly, if it wasn't for the, well, honestly, if it wasn't for the church and Jesus, your sister wouldn't be in this boat, so maybe you should be pissed at Jesus, because if his body wasn't an in thing and we didn't need a key maiden and a gatekeeper and all that bullshit, then your sister wouldn't have gotten into this mess. So it's not, you want to, look, You want to go back as far as you can. It's Jesus' fault. It's God's fault for sticking his dick where it didn't belong and getting some virgin pregnant and having Jesus. That's all I'm saying. Look, if you want to make some leaps of logic, you got to go all the way back. Go full throttle with it, honey, okay? Just go all the way back. Anyway. She then died, hurting everyone she knew. Henry gave an eerie grin that looked hauntingly sad. I still dream of my sister to this day, and not once has she left my dreams. I mumbled quietly after hearing his story. What a terrible story. Indeed. Henry calmly responded. He then closed his eyes and chuckled. I'm unsure as to why I'm telling this to you. I assume it's because I wanted you to listen and know of my story. Forgive me. It's all right. I'm happy you shared with me your story. Thank you, Henry. Happy? Yes, I did wish to know more about you. So I'm happy you told me your story, even though I kind of already knew it. It's also nice to see you without your mask. But I do love the mask. Can you keep that for, like, bedroom games? Never mind. What? I didn't say that. Yes, I did. Yes, I fucking did. And I don't regret it. I see. You haven't changed. It looked like Henry was smiling. His eyes reflected sorrow, grief, and a hint of hesitance. Do you mind if I ask you something? Yes? Aren't you scared of the Mafia? Well, I'm not, but that's not the right answer here. Yeah, totes, Henry. Of course I'm scared of them. Violence and crime are never right. So, like, we get our Mafia harem ending, or we get our Henry ending. We can't have both, game? Because... No, our Mafia harem ending includes Henry. Fuck you. Let me have my delusions, okay? Give me my hug me coat and my padded walls. Please put Velcro on my hug me coats and then Velcro on the walls so I can, like, it'd be fun. But listen, I'm gonna have my fucking harem ending. And I'm gonna rewrite, because we never saw Henry's body. Okay, that's true. But, man, game. Still. Yeah. But after getting to know them better, I realized they're made up of many people. Don't you want to be set free? Not if it means killing me, because your choice of words and you being slightly crazy worries me, something. Well... Yes. Well, yes. I'd rather be free than be shackled down to something. It's funny, because the Henry romance ending seems to be turning against everything she's ever been in the whole entire game. Okay. Okay. I mean, I get why they did it. You know, because you can't be happy with the Mafia and Berlin and all that and have Henry. Like, but... in the reality of the game, you know? But it is weird, because she's always been like, well, this is my destiny, and it's my duty to the church, I guess. And now she's like, fuck it all! We just spent like 6 routes saying the complete opposite. So. But I think I've said this before. Do you think you could have lived life more freely? Maybe I'm just not good at living my freedom to its fullest. I don't believe I'm lacking any freedom. Yes, I know. You've lived life within your boundaries. So why? You're bound and shackled to many things right now. I assume things don't always go your way. For example, people's feelings. Well, yes, but I don't think that having everything go one's way is equivalent to freedom. You don't wish to have people's feelings unfold in your favor. I absolutely do but you're just not going to let me have the man harem ending, Henry, is all I'm saying. To be honest, it hasn't crossed my mind. That's a lie. It's totally crossed my mind. I want everyone to love me so I can have my man harem. I kind of got it. Have you ever cursed God? Well, this one, if she said yes, I would have been like that. Okay, this is bullshit. We're lying to him. Because, yeah. No. I replied a bit hesitantly as I tried to think about it. If someone precious to me were being threatened with danger, and if I couldn't do anything about it, nor could I get anyone to help, only then I might curse God for putting me in such a situation. That's not how things are now. Yes, I have many who can help me, who I can even help in some way too. I just have to be strong and face whatever stands in my way, one at a time. That's how I live every day. Or maybe it's just that I simply don't have the luxury of cursing anyone now. I smiled at my final comment, and Henry fell silent. Henry? He looked at me quietly. His eyes looked coldly, and I felt as though I saw a shadow of hatred in them. Key Maiden, Spacey Adornato. He knows I'm the Key Maiden. I mean... You... Okay. If you're trying to tell me that you had a suspicion that he was Direttore, you don't think that he knew that you were the Key Maiden? I'm just saying, this is the shock to you? I feel like both should be a slight shock to you, but okay. I shouldn't be surprised at this point. Right, exactly. I'm sure he talked to me back then because he knew who I was. Someone with Chloe's fate. Key Maiden, what are your views on the fate you've been burdened with? Well, it's my fate. I've been chosen by fate. If I've been chosen by fate, then I want to do what I can to fulfill it. I understand it isn't easy, but I still want to do my best. I see. Henry sighed. I feel like we're going to die. This is Henry's romance ending. Let me ask you one last thing. Yes? Do you like this town? I replied, ... no. Yes, I like Berlone. Why? You can't say that this is a livable town. I mean, I've been living here for like a couple decades at this point, so yes, I can. This place isn't like before. It's ruled by violence and force. Yes, but even so, I still like this town. Henry, there's some people who haven't changed a bit, even with what's happening. I like those people, and seeing them no different from before makes me happy. Once all the rioting and turmoil subsides, I'm sure things will go back to normal again. People will smile like they did before. You're similar, and yet you're not. Huh? I need to get going. You'd better go back inside before you catch a cold. And then you're like, please don't go to the casino, they're gonna kill you. And I love you. I love you, Direttore. I called his name as he turned his back to me to leave. Wait, Righton! No, his name is Henry! He's like, you know my name. Bitch! I know shit too! But I just don't like that... I mean, I don't mind if, like, here she got clued in, but, like, when did she start having a clue? You know, and I just... It's fine, like, but I just feel like this should have been more of a shock than it was. Again, but then again, I feel like it should have been more of a shock to me, the reader, than it was to me, who spoiled it from the fucking get-go. But okay. His shoulder twitched slightly. You're Righton, aren't you? Ah, Righton is a French nickname for Henry, right? Aha. That makes sense. I'm probably saying it wrong, but also that makes sense as to where he got Henry from. I don't want you calling me that name. He muttered coldly and quickly departed the church grounds. Henry... I turned around to go back inside the church after watching Henry leave. Suddenly, I saw Orlok coming out of the dormitory. I don't know anything! It's literally the next choice. It's later in the... It's so funny. I'm sorry, Space. I was sleeping until now. I didn't expect you to be awake so early, so I didn't make it here on time. There's no need to apologize. I should be the one apologizing for going out. I must have worried you, leaving like that without saying anything. Yes, but it's okay now. I'm glad nothing happened. Yes, I only came out here to get a breath of fresh air. Didn't talk to anybody, not Direttore, nothing. I'm gonna clean up the church. Will you help me, Orlok? Reminisce. Henry. Oh, it's Nicola. Wow. I was enjoying an espresso and Arco when I saw a certain someone. Roberto came out of the police station and walked toward me. That's not what I expected at all. When I saw a certain someone, Henry. Roberto! Okay, sure. Our eyes met, but he looked away. Hello, Roberto. Nicola. Hey, buddy! Hello. You're not biting back at me. What's wrong? Did you have something bad for lunch? I'm the same as usual. What are you... No, never mind. Roberto frowned as he swallowed his words and continued on his way. Come to think of it, this is where I first met him. It's interesting that we're having, like, this moment. Because, like, reminisce, where Nicola's reminiscing about meeting Roberto. Okay. Not what I expected, at all. Okay. I believe he was just stationed in Berlin back then. I was enjoying a cup of espresso back then as well. I stepped in between him and a woman who seemed to be entangled in an argument. After that, he stopped me before I left. Hey, you! Quite a trick you pulled. He lacked tact, that's for sure, but he seemed to like me back then. I just got here from Rome. Can you tell me about this town? The restaurants along the coast are all exceptional. They serve the freshest seafood. I see. If you have time, do you mind telling me more? Oh! Look, Roberto is happy. He's trying to make a friend, and he's just so mad that later his friend turns out to be part of the mafia. Oh, you poor sweet summer child. Stop. We don't scream. Roberto probably didn't realize that I was mafia. I didn't know he was an officer either. I shared with him my favorite bars and shops around the area. It's like a bromance budding. A budding bromance that we never got to experience. He seemed quite pleased then. It had been a rocky first impression, but I realized he was good deep inside. I feel like we should have gotten this in the frickin' harem ending, for fuck's sake. A few weeks later, a Falzone soldier caused a ruckus in Arca. I went to the police station to bail him out, and it was then I realized that Roberto was actually a police officer. He mentioned he had come from Rome, so I assumed he was reassigned here. If what he wanted was to return to Rome, he'd need to cut ties with me. I filled out the forms needed to set bail. Roberto saw me and came to talk to me, but I disregarded him as if he weren't there. Oh! Oh, Nicola! You shady bastard! You're the one who made Roberto hate this town and the mafia! Oh my god. Roberto came here and was like, okay, I'm here, and I made this friend, and I'm so excited, and like, the mafia runs this town, and that seems weird, but like, I guess I'll get used to it. I made my new best friend, and then Nicola just ignores him, and he's like, I hate the mafia! This town sucks! I'm gonna die! This is the saddest thing in the game! This is literally the saddest thing. But it's so funny. Oh my god. Nicola, you're the reason why Roberto is such a salty fucking asshole. Oh my god. What did you do? The result, it seemed he hated me now. Oh, you broke his heart. He just wanted a bro, and you broke his heart. Nicola Francesca. How dare you brazenly walk through here, you lousy mobster! See, he's so mad! Oh, we're just gonna give Roberto a hug. It's okay, baby. It's okay, sweetie. Nicola was just being mean because he didn't want you to hurt because you were friends with a mobster. He was trying to protect you, but he's a shady bastard. It's okay. It's okay to be mad. Nicola, you apologize. Oh my god. I don't believe it matters much to you where I decide to walk, does it? You must be joking. The station's right around the corner. And since then he keeps hassling me each time we meet. It was quite a pain really, but it's boring in seeing him being so quiet like this. But then Nicola's also like, I mean, if he wants to end up going back to Rome, he can't be friends with me. So I'll just ignore him and it'll be better for him. But now I get off on the fact that he's angry and hassling me every time I see him. Nicholas! Sweetie, you might also need to see a therapist. Jesus. I decided to head out to the church. Oh my god, Nicola. Oh. Helping Orlok clean. Okay. Of course, I think I'm actually enjoying doing the cleaning. I can relate. It feels good to see things nice and clean. We both looked at each other with a smile and headed inside the church. Hey, could you stop with the shrieking? It's getting obnoxious. This was unexpected. Nicola came to visit the church. At first, I thought he came to replace... Oh, no, this is the same. Okay, so we're going to skip this because this is stuff we already read. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I thought that beginning was a thing, but this is Nicola coming. He's going to take us out on a date, blah, blah, blah. Cop's duty. Okay. We already read all this, I'm sure. Marco doubting himself. Roberto being like, buddy, it's okay. I love the fact that in this fucking, finale, Roberto's like, I really don't hate the mobsters in this town, except for, like, Nicola, because he broke my heart. That also oh my god, that also explains why... Oh my god. Holy shit. Everything all the pieces just fell into place. I know, I'm slow. I know somebody was, like, saying this, and I heard you telepathically, I know. That literally explains why, in Nicola's route, Roberto goes so motherfucking insane with me being with Nicola that he's like, I'll kidnap you and rape you and be crazy. Because he's so mad at Nicola for breaking his little broman's heart. Or maybe Roberto's gay. I don't know. I mean, he likes us, but that means nothing. Okay? Maybe he's a little bi. Maybe he was totally into Nicola, and then he was like, well, she's kind of hot too, I guess. I mean, she's pretty. She's not as hot as Nicola, but like, whatever. I don't know. I know it was a bromance, okay? I just want to gay ship everything, but shut up. So, like, that explains why Nicola's route is the only one where he loses his motherfucking shit, and he has such a hate boner for Nicola. It's not because Nicola flaunts the law or he's a mobster. It's literally because, oh my god, I made a friend, and I'm so excited! And then his friend broke his heart. Like, and then he's like, that girl at church is kind of cute. Now she's dating Nick. Fuck Nicola! And then he's, oh my god. Oh my god, all the fucking pieces. Holy shit. Hey! Stop! Okay, fucking A. How many times do we have to have the conversation? Everybody watching this knows what conversation we're having. Say it with me. Bird, you have to drink your water from inside the cage, you dumbass. You can't just sit outside your cage and shriek at your water. God, you're an idiot. He's so cute, and sometimes he's smart, but sometimes he's so fucking stupid. Anyway, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. There's nothing I have that you want. Impossible. You're his girl. There has to be... I'm not anyone's girl. I'm just a normal girl from the church. We're gonna get Nicola killed, aren't we? That sucks. He seemed a bit confused at what I was saying. The town's unsafe now, so he simply offered to walk me through town after church. You're telling me that the Falzone's underboss was only acting as your escort? The Barlone Mafia have long since offered help to the church. For years now. They stopped while I was talking. I needed to somehow buy as much time as I could by talking. Nicholas said something about some man above you, but I don't even know who he is, so there's no way I can give you any information. He went silent. And go and contact him. He'll know what she's just said is true. Nicola was smiling like he wasn't hurt at all. And then we... Oh. What you said earlier about not knowing anything was a good call. It's only natural that we wouldn't share top-secret information with any girl. Nicola, do you mind elaborating what your plan is supposed to be? You were calm back then when they surrounded us. You knew this was going to happen, right? Okay, so now we're cutting him free, blah, blah, blah. Gonna set the... Oh, remembering... Dia de Torta doesn't trust anyone, but we know who he is, but we're just gonna pretend. No idea! Nicola tried to take the rope off me, but I shook my head in response. Run, Nicola. Don't worry. You can leave me here. He was stunned by what I just said. I'm a little stunned by what we just said, but okay. If they find you, they'll kill you for sure. But if what you said is right, then I won't be killed, right? If we tried to escape together, all I would do is burden him. It's best for you to escape alone to make sure you survive. I'm pretty sure Dante's gonna kill you, but okay. I can't leave you here. There's no guarantee that you'd be safe. I understand. Even so, I looked straight into Nicola's eyes. I'll be fine. I also need to meet him anyway. I need to meet him as the Key Maiden. No, as Spacey Adornato. He stared into my eyes for a while with a grim face. He's like looking at you like you're fucking in love with him, aren't you? I know he's been coming to the church to visit you. Yeah, and you fell in love with him a little. Maybe. Maybe I want him to take me away. Hope he doesn't show up at the casino. Are you going to tell him about our plan? Yes. Maybe. Noticing that I wasn't going to budge, he finally let out a sigh. You need to let everyone know. He had to notify everyone that Wrighton tried to kill him and that they have a base here. Back at church, I told you that I understood that your plan could be dangerous. I want to help the town too, so I have to do what I can. A lot of people I know and care for live here after all. So please, please listen, Nicola. He thought in silence for a bit, then shrugged in disbelief. You're just unbelievable. His eyes wavered with hesitance as he gritted his teeth. All of a sudden, Nicola quickly raised his head. I listened closely to hear amidst the noise of the machines. Someone's talking outside? Nicola crouched down and looked at me. He then gave me his promise. I'll come and save you, in the name of the Fell Zone. I nodded and smiled at his promise. Please be safe. Wow, he's just gonna leave us! It's not actually surprising. I'm pretty sure if the situation... Dante never would have allowed it. Gil wouldn't have allowed it. Orlok wouldn't have allowed it. Yang would have stabbed us, then left. This way they don't have to kill you first. He would have killed us, then left. And Nicola's like, all right. He gave a reassuring smile as he hurriedly headed next to the door. A few seconds later, the door opened and a man stepped inside the room. Nicola quickly covered the man's mouth with his hand and slid his knife along his neck. Jesus, Nicola! In an instant, he slit the man's throat. The blood spewed high into the air. Unable to speak, the man fell to his knees. I bit my tongue to keep myself from screaming as I turned my head away. What, you? Behind the man was another who tried to raise his voice, but Nicola's bloody blade went right into the man's eye. Jesus fucking Christ, you're a little bit of a psycho, Nicola, but okay. Ah! Sorry, I didn't scream. Nicola ruthlessly pulled his knife out and kicked the man to the ground. Without turning back, he ran out of the room. Wait! Damn it! I heard yelling outside, followed by gunfire. If he dies, another scream could be heard. Oh my god, Direttore is going to kill them all. We're in the Henry ending because everybody else is dead? That's going to suck. Come to think of it, it's like one or all. Damn. This must be some kind of a factory with all these machines running. Oh my god, seriously? You figured out that Henry was writing as Direttore, but it took you this long to figure out you were in a fucking factory? Okay. If so, there must be others working here besides the black-suited men. After him! Don't let him get away! I was like, well, that's true. We were blindfolded, but we walked in and we heard the sound of machinery, so... Machinery, factory. Should have been a logical conclusion. Took her a little bit too long. Calm down! But... You saw that, didn't you? They just kill anyone going after him. Don't forget, our mission is to ensure she's with us. They must have given up on pursuing him. The men came into the room. They didn't have their masks on, probably because they were caught off guard. I bit my lip and glared at them. The men frowned, looking at the blood splattered about the place. We need to clean this place up. We should be able to save him as long as the blade didn't reach his brain. The other person crumpled on the ground was already dead. The man who was stabbed was still breathing. The men hurriedly took him out of the room. One of the suited men remained and slowly walked toward me menacingly. Time to go to sleep. I prayed for Nicola's safety. As long as he escapes, everyone will... Chloroform? What does this rag smell like? Chloroform? All new chapter 9. De Lumiere. De Lumiere. Lumiere. Is that how you say it? Do you say Lumiere? Like the candelabra fucking Beauty and the Beast. It's the only reason I know that. I was treated by a doctor upon my... Oh, this is Nicola. Never mind. I was treated by a doctor upon my return. I left her behind. She wasn't going to budge. I could tell very well that she had no intention of changing her mind. But was this really the right call? My mind replayed the scene over and over again. Nicola, a little bit of a conscience. Why have you come back alone? Orlok was rightfully upset. With the casino raid tomorrow, we made plans to meet later tonight. I somehow made it to the church in time. I brought with me evidence of the factory's involvement in the counterfeiting. But in turn, I left the person I was supposed to protect with my life behind. I mean, big fail, Nicola, but we told you to, and this is the only way we're going to get Henry, so... You promised you'd protect her! Why did you... I'm sorry. Unbelievable. You can't keep a promise, can you, Francesca? However, you brought back some useful information. Nice work. Yeah, we know where the factory is, and we have the proof we need now. I don't think all of Nicola's moves were wrong. He wasn't think- Oh, he was thinking ahead, right? Dante is like... Fucking A, Nicola. Dante... He wasn't showing any anger despite being the most worried here. I'd rather he yell at me instead. The worst case scenario crossed my mind. At the same time, a part of me suspected that she was actually just fine. I recalled my conversation with Righton. I've heard from Orlok that you've been frequenting the church lately. Okay. I mean, I feel like Nicola was watching us. He knew it all, you know, but... Poor thing. You're planning on sacrificing her for your own benefit, aren't you? No! I would never sacrifice her for such a thing! I was surprised he showed any emotion. What I just heard wasn't the voice of the casino's direttore. It was Righton's voice. He must have noticed he said too much. He quickly turned around to leave. And that's why he put us at risk. I mean, you kind of suspected that he was like, I just assumed, because he said, oh, I've been watching you, that he knew, and he knew who Henry was, that he saw him at the church, and like, that was the assumption. You know, not that he actually had that conversation, but he just saw him and was like, he's always showing up at the church. I think he likes you. I don't think he'd hurt you. But he knew for a fact because of that conversation, so. This wasn't the time to be in pain. She put her life at risk because she trusted me. We decided to change our plan so that we could rescue Spacey. We'll take action immediately. The casino will see hell tonight. And Direttore won't be there. I slowly opened my heavy eyelids. I didn't recognize this place. Where am I? I slowly sat up on the plush sofa. I don't hear the machines anymore. I wasn't entirely sure what happened, but it looked like I had been asleep the whole time. The ropes binding me were gone. I turned my head toward the knocking door. Suddenly... Is he dressed as Direttore? A person came in and bowed to me, seeing that I was awake. Welcome to my casino, Key Maiden. His elegant attire, overly polite demeanor, and theatrical gestures. I knew it was the Direttore. But we also know who he is, right? She's been able to put the two and two together. Obviously, because we knew that Direttore was Chloe's brother, so. I began speaking to him slowly and calmly. Show me your face. I continued to speak. I kind of want a CG of him dressed like this. I really do, but... You asked me before whether I would forgive his poor soul. I said I would because I understood that he was still a child and that his sister was his entire life. The siblings' parents were killed, and they were taken to another land to be raised by the Mafia. I could only imagine what they went through. I kept thinking about how much sorrow he felt with the loss of his sister. So I couldn't simply dismiss his hatred for the Mafia. He gave a brief sigh. He placed his hand on his mask. Oh! Look! It's him with the wig, though. It's like he's got so many looks. I love it. I despise the Falzone for killing my sister, Chloe. All I'm doing is getting rid of the Falzone and bringing chaos to the town supporting them.
Ever since Chloe died, I've spent every single day of my life living for vengeance.
And you committed crimes for that purpose.
I kept myself open to options. I would never let them go for what they've done.
You committed crimes that you are angry about them for doing. You know what I mean? They committed crimes. So have you. Like,
I would do anything to eliminate them. I don't believe in God, so I don't fear him. God chose Chloe, and yet he didn't save her. Why should I fear such a useless existence?
I stopped myself from interrupting, seeing him shackled to his twisted revenge. I'm sure Henry knows already. Even if God didn't punish Henry, what he was doing was wrong. Henry, why did you come to the church? Why did you keep talking to me?
It was mere curiosity. I wished to know who the new Key Maiden was. He would be sacrificed under my plan. No, it was a likely possibility.
Henry looked at me with his cold eyes as he continued without any emotion. I think this is actually kind of cute. Like, he was like, I'll totally sacrifice this bitch. And he's like, I'm gonna go to the church and check this girl out because she's totally gonna get sacrificed. And he's like, but, oh, you're so sweet, and I love you, but I can't let you die now. Like, oh, that's so cute. I mean, you were gonna sacrifice me, and that's a little fucked up. But I mean, so was Nicola. So I mean, we can't, and Yang would have too. We can't really. You can't be mad at him for this. Two of our love interests would have gladly and would absolutely, their intent was to, like, throw me to the wolves. And then they changed their fucking mind. Hell, in the Yang's normal ending, was it the normal ending or was it the bad ending where he was like, nah, bye, bitch. And you were like, so I'm supposed to feel like the happy ending was all a lie? Rude. I'm serious. Come on. Henry looked at me with his cold eyes as he continued without any emotion.
It would be easier to lure the Falzone family to my trap using the Key Maiden. So I wanted to meet you beforehand, to see what kind of girl was chosen next.
But I'm still alive. You haven't sacrificed me. You warned me to stay far away from the Mafia, but I hadn't budged at all. I couldn't stay away because I wanted to do everything I could to help them. I mean, it says Henry romantic end, so I'm just saying. You were warning me to stay away so that I wouldn't get caught in your plan, weren't you? You helped me when I was caught in the chaos in town. He could have turned a blind eye to me, but he came to help me.
I had no intention of helping you. I was serious when I said that I wouldn't worry about you anymore.
His face twisted in pain.
I wasn't planning on getting involved with you, but I found myself at the church. I intervened the moment I saw you in danger. I'm accustomed to sacrificing people.
Oh, your sweet, sad face. I love you. Henry chuckled to himself with scorn.
You and Chloe are alike. It may be because you were both chosen to be Key Maidens. I know you're not Chloe, but before I knew it, I was searching for her within you.
Okay, that's a little creepy. Okay, can we not? I'm in love with... I wanted to find my sister in you. That's disturbing. Just... beep, beep, back that up. Back the creep bus up, okay.
Perhaps that was around the time when I didn't want to sacrifice you anymore. I kept going to see you, to try and convince myself you weren't Chloe. And finally, it was then that I knew in my heart that you weren't.
He's referring to... I think I know exactly what he's referring to.
You're similar, and yet you're not.
The room filled with silence. How long had we been looking at each other? Henry suddenly mumbled.
I wasn't able to give Chloe the freedom she deserved back then. I let her die and I couldn't stop it.
You were a child.
You're following her fate, living a life without freedom, unable to leave this town. Maybe that's why I wanted to take you outside, even if it was only a moment. You smiled at me then, and that brought joy to my heart.
Taking a walk in the morning feels so good. That's right. I enjoyed our stroll that morning so much that I hoped we could go again.
I've spoken a number of times with you, but that was about the only time. I was able to bring a smile to your face.
Henry, his words brought a sharp pain to my heart. This feels so melancholy. Such a sad romantic ending, I don't know. He closed his eyes, then placed the mask back on his face to end the conversation.
The curtains will fall shortly. I'll have you come with me.
We're supposed to get 2 CGs in this. The casino hall echoed with the sounds of gunfire and screams. Dante must have begun their attack. The patrons who were there gambling were now running for their lives, loudly, I must say. The mafia soldiers pointed their guns to them as they led them outside. Space! Orlok shouted my name, the first to notice my presence. Henry was behind me with his gun pointed to me. It's a little awkward. Nicola, I promised that I'd come for you. He must have escaped safely. Seeing him here made me sigh in relief. Oh my god, Henry's not going to kill them all, is he? Like, look, I love you, Henry, but please don't kill them. I know we should be used to that. Yang killed my boyfriend. Everybody's killed each other, but like, can we not? Dante saw Henry and began to speak in a harsh voice. Direttore, your objective is to exact revenge on the Falzone family.
Indeed. And this is to avenge Chloe, Signor Falzone.
I apologize for dragging you and your sister into the Falzone's mission. It's not really Dante's fault, but like, thanks. Henry quietly listened to what Dante was saying. The mask he wore hid his expression. Yeah, but you can see his frown. I don't want to involve the Key Maiden in my mission as head of the Falzone. And that was the same with my father as well. He didn't want to sacrifice Chloe or your parents.
You didn't want us involved. Sweet words to cover your dirty deeds. Behold, even now the Falzone is the Key Maiden shackled to her fate.
You must know, more than anyone, that you're wrong. You've been speaking to her after all. Henry quietly turned his attention to Nicola. You're blaming the Falzone family for everything, but you know better. You are aware of who she is and why you're still attached to us. I began to speak, seeing Henry go silent. I'm not being forced to help them. They aren't using me either. They tried to protect me. I turned to Henry and tried to reach him with my honesty. I wanted to get involved with them. I wanted to help Berlone in any way I could.
The Key Maiden is chosen outside the Falzone family's control. It's a force beyond human reach. There's no meaning in blaming Dante for this. If the church was the source of the problem, we should be the ones punished.
See, Orlok is like, blame fucking God. It's kind of his fault. Like, gonna indirect blame. Go big! Go big or go home, Henry, Jesus!
I'm not simply shifting the blame. Do you think that I'd absolve them of their sins?
What about your sins, Henry? What about yours? So what is this sin you speak of? Yang smiled teasingly. Your sister was in love with the previous Falzone boss, no? Apparently he was already engaged before you two came to this town. Is that what you're referring to as their sin? And that's why the Falzone is to blame? Yang speaking fucking logic up in here. Your sister blindly fell in love. If anything, she's the one who sinned. I could tell Henry's emotions were rising inside of him, hearing Yang blame Chloe.
And that still doesn't change the fact that the Falzone killed Chloe.
Is that so? She committed suicide. Falzone didn't do anything directly.
You think I'd buy that lie? Chloe was murdered.
Yeah, how was she murdered? She was shot and stabbed and poisoned. That's a lot of overkill. I had that checked with the detective who investigated her death, and he said otherwise. At the very least, she wasn't killed by the Mafia. You're blaming them without proof.
Berlone's police can't be trusted, and they can easily lie for the sake of the Mafia. Chloe was killed. She was shot before my very eyes.
Shot? Wait, Henry, Chloe died falling from a cliff. Did you really see Chloe being shot and killed?
Gun. No. Chloe. She was stabbed. No. She was poisoned and...
She died from drowning. They didn't find any gunshot wounds on her body.
See.
Like, it's all false memory. Like, we saw that. Like, everyone said, oh my god, I heard she was stabbed. Oh my god, I heard she drowned. I mean, all planted the memories in his head. Those. But even if you're a kid and you remember hearing, she was shot. I didn't see it, but someone said that. That's what you're going to believe. You're believing that. It's feeding into your anger and your hate. You know what I mean?
Henry was holding his head in his hand as if he was in great pain. If it were in the Mafia's hands, they would have made sure the body was never found. You may not have known that before, but you must be well aware of that by now.
Yang's like, unless it was me.
No! Chloe... Revenge! For her suffering. I turned completely around to face him, his gun now pointed at my chest. I spoke to Henry, who was mumbling in pain. Henry, would Chloe want revenge? You said to me that I'm just like her. This is just me, but if I were in her situation, I wouldn't want to be avenged, even with all that's happened. I wouldn't want my brother to suffer. And I don't want you to suffer, Henry. He gritted his teeth, holding back the pain. Henry... I slowly lowered his arm with the gun in it. It slipped and fell into the ground. Oh. Then suddenly, the casino shook with a violent explosion. Well, shit, that was definitely timed. Henry immediately pushed me hard toward Dante. This is the romantic end? First of all, where are CGs? Second of all, I don't trust this. Dante embraced me before I could fall. The explosions continued, and soon the hall was filled with smoke. But see, Sebastiano Gallier, the direttore, did all of this, and he's dead now. Oh, hey, here's our friend Henry. Totally different guy. I mean, we could go with that. Only Nicola knows he's writing. Oh, they all do. But I mean, just saying, like, only Nicola recognized Henry as writing. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else recognizes him. They're like, hey, no, my name's Henry. Hey, what's up? They don't know. Nobody else knows. So you were all, motherfuckers, you were all gonna fucking lie and cover this shit up so Henry can lead a normal fucking life and we're gonna take care of him. Man, harem ending. Thank you. Anyway. The explosions continued, and soon the hall was filled with smoke. Flames began to engulf the area. Henry! I called his name, but he didn't respond. He slowly walked away. Don't die! Toward the flames. Dante pulled me back as I tried to go after Henry. I looked up at Dante, and he silently shook his head. And then I was forcefully dragged out of the burning casino. Henry! I can't scream his name, but I want to. Henry, no! Anyway, calm down, Space. This is sad music. This is supposed to be the romance end. They're all looking at me sadly. Because this could have been our romantic harem Henry ending, all I'm saying. I turned around and looked at everyone. Oh. Is our romantic Henry ending him dying, but we were in love with him? Because first of all, I didn't get... No, he can't be dead because we've got the after story. It's impossible. I'm so sorry. I forced myself out of Dante's hands. Do we die together? That'd be... I need to go. Space, no. I can't leave him there. The flames brought fear into my heart. Despite that, I was moved to action by an emotion I couldn't describe. Love. I ran into the burning casino. Aw, that's so sweet and dangerous, but like, sweet. This is him. I walked through the casino hall aimlessly, and the mask in my hand fell to the floor. I've been having a nightmare, even though I'm awake. I couldn't save anyone. God isn't leading me. Why did she die without me? Why did she leave me only with hatred? I knew there was no turning back the moment I dirtied my hands. I dropped to my knees amid the searing heat and slowly closed my eyes. Here we come. But now, I can finally end it all. I can finally be saved. Suddenly, Henry! The voice was too vivid to be a dream. I turned around, fear gripping my chest. Why? She wasn't supposed to be here. and this place will crumble and burn to ruins. Why are you here, Spacey?
I came for you. CG?
She yelled, frightened, and grabbed my arm. Why is she touching me? Doesn't she know I'm the most unsightly being to ever exist?
Oh, no, Precious, you're beautiful. It's okay, baby. We'll take care of you. This poor broken soul.
I could tell that the way out was already engulfed in flames. I can't have her follow me. Spacey isn't Chloe. This way. I mustered the strength to start walking. Spacey was looking at me with hesitation and fear in her face. She quietly followed. She has to live. She has to...
This is like... We're a little under time, but like, I don't think that we're going to be able to finish this. Because we gotta go to get to... We got 2 more CG... We still have 2 CGs to get. We have to do the end scene. So I'm gonna end it here, because it's a good place to stop, so we're not, like, too over. And then the next part, we're gonna have to finish it in the next part. So, like, drama. I'm gonna leave you haunted, waiting. So... There's Henry romantic ending. The last 2 CGs is just us burning to death. Like... I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I just imagine we're going to get out and live happily ever after. We kind of have to in order to have the after scene, the 1926 prequel thing. So we have to get out in this. You know what I mean? Because the 1926 prologue thing can't have that if we die. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, but it's still one of those, like, I mean, that would be my logic, but the game might just bitch slap me in the face for all I know. So we'll see. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.